Alright guys, moving on to the next Patreon request, and this one comes from Tom Hibbert, who asked me to do a Robocop Doctor Who crossover. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, let's get started with the video. So, yeah, so this story begins with OCP announcing that they are opening up new homeless shelters throughout old Detroit. It's more or less to like help put relations between new Detroit and old Detroit at ease. So they're building these new homeless shelters, and however, the problem is that when these people go into these homeless shelters, there's no sign of them. Like there's no exact sighting of anyone in these buildings. So and the thing is like there's no missing reports because, well, they're homeless people and no one's gonna miss a homeless person or make a big report about it. However, what happens is that one of the facilities reports a break-in. One of them reports a break-in, and Hershey and Robocop are the first on the scene. So they go, and what they arrive to is seeing a man in a suit walking around with like a weird laser thing scanning the area. And Robocop like draws weapon. He's like, "Put down your weapon. You have put down your weapon and put your hands behind your back." And he's like, "Oh, Lordy, who are you? What are you? Are you one of them? Are you?" And Hershey like draws her gun and she's like, "Put it down. Last chance, put it down, or we put you down." And he's like, "Oh, nickel for every time I've heard that." So the doctor puts it down and introduces himself, and they're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm the doctor." And they're like, "Doctor who?" "Oh, it's just the doctor." And they're like, "Oh, goddamn freaks. You got any identification on you?" And the doctor pulls out his psychic paper, and Hershey is like, "That's a piece of paper. What are you trying to do?" And even Robocop is like, "My scans indicate that is an unknown property." And he's like, "Oh, this is interesting. Very little we get to see people get fooled by the psychic paper. Listen, can you undo these handcuffs? We've got some problems." But the doctor they don't listen, and the doctor is taken. They take him, and they find the TARDIS in the it parked somewhere, and they take it to impound. So, yeah. So Robocop interrogates the doctor, and he's like, "What? Why were you there? Like, why did you go to that facility? Why did you go to that homeless shelter? What were you doing in there?" And he's like, "Homeless shelter? Is that what he's like, got his hands scuffed." He's like, "Also, if you're wondering which doctor this is Tenant Doctor." He's like, "Homeless shelter? Is that what they told you?" Good Lord, I knew there was a homeless crisis, but I didn't think people would be ignoring it. "Listen, you have to let me go, because what is going on is there is something horrible going in that shelter, and I am the only person to stop it." And he's like, "I cannot let you do that without, you're basically looking at breaking and entering." He's like, "Look, you've got to give me back my screwdriver, got to give me back my TARDIS." And they're like, "The phone box? Yeah, you're not getting that back." But what happens is that a representative OCP arrives and is like, "Hey, that guy who called himself the doctor, where is he?" And so the doctor, by this point, is like, "Good thing I practiced this from Houdini," gets out of the handcuffs and manages to get away while Robocop's talking to the representative from OCP. And he's like, "Look, Robocop, that guy is a saboteur from a rival company. They're trying to damage the project." But Robocop kind of like Murphy like suspects that something else is going on. Like he's starting to be like, well, the company's really nervous about him, so he's probably on the up and up. I should suspect that. So Murphy goes to talk to the doctor more, but he's gone, and he heads down. The doctor sneaks down to impound, but while there, he encounters the big villain of this story, the Cybermen. Yep, the Cybermen are back in this second story. So the Cybermen try to capture the Doctor. That's when Murphy shows up. He's already like drawn his gun and fires, and they like makes the Cybermen stumble back, but it just gets back up, leading to and they're like, "You inferior model, what is your malfunction?" And he goes, "No malfunction. You're under arrest." So Robocop fights the two Cybermen, and the Doctor actually gets, Hershey also helps, and they're like, "What are they? Are they new form, like they new OCP droids to replace you, Murphy?" And the Doctor's like, "No, they're Cybermen." So Murphy helps the Doctor get his sonic screwdriver back. They get into the TARDIS, and immediately it's like, "Oh my, yes, it's bigger on the inside. We've got to go." So Doctor takes them away, and he's like, "Right, explanations are in order. I'm a Time Lord. Those are the Cybermen, and I believe the company that you're working for, OCP, that you're a part of, OCP, is working with them. Those homeless shelters are actually cyber conversion centers." And they're like, "Holy shit, we knew OCP was evil, but we didn't expect them to be like that level of evil. Why would they do that?" And the Doctor's like, why do you humans do anything for power? They want to take the technology from the Cybermen and use it to make new models of him. He points to Murphy. He's like, to make better versions of him and to convert more of old Detroit and make it into something else. So yeah, OCP and the Cybermen, that's the plan between them. And OCP is willingly giving them the homeless shelter. That's what the Cybermen are using, the homeless shelters, to make more Cybermen. Excuse me. So Murphy's just incensed by this. He's angry by this, and he's like, "Doctor, if you'll please indulge me, I would like to help you." So they go back to the police station, which has now been under guard by the Cybermen, who OCP says are new models to replace Robocop. And they believe that like the saboteur, like they tell the cops, "Yeah, the saboteur that you encountered manipulated and took over, like basically altered the neural network for Robocop, making him work for him. So you got these new Robocop models will help you subdue him." So Robocop has to fight the Cybermen, also, and meanwhile the Chief is like, "Yeah, that's bullshit. I don't trust OCP. Here, take some explosive, Hershey, and get out there and stop whatever they're doing." So after the Doctor and Robocop manage to stop the Cybermen, they go back to OCP's building, which now has Cybermen working alongside them, and the Doctor's like, "Oh, he's talking to the board of directors. He's like, sometimes I can't believe you humans, really. You will destroy your own race for money, and you'll destroy your own planet for money. Do you look at yourselves? Like, I love you humans, I really do, but there's a dark side in you that I can't, that I can never fathom. Well, I think it's time you met my dark side." And the Doctor reveals that he implants a virus into their network and just crashes OCP. Like, their stock, their everything, and it's a virus that it has decimated the network connecting all the Cybermen. Meanwhile, Murphy and Hershey manage to find the main conversion building and blow it up, which also had the signal to the other Cybermen, cutting the Cybermen off and killing and shutting them down. Sadly, they couldn't save the homeless that were converted, but at least it stops the others. So by the end of it, the Doctor is like, "You're not like, I know what you're thinking, Murphy, but you're not like the Cybermen. You never were. You're human." And I hope you remember that. So the Doctor leaves. Murphy has an appreciation for it, and day's over. The day is saved. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this video? What did you guys think of this crossover? Once again, I'd like to thank Tom Hibbert for this Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.